Okay, get ready with me as I give you guys a little life update. I haven't been posting a lot recently because I've just been so busy. So about 6 months ago, I started applying for jobs in my field of study. I don't know, was it 4 or 5 years ago, I moved up to New England. And right before I moved, literally, that was like a few months before COVID began. And as you know, the world shut down for a little while. And it was hard to find a job in my field. So I just I worked at a doctor's office, and then I just kind of worked for myself for a while. And I started looking for a job about 6 months ago, and I found one in the criminal justice field. And it would help if I turn my straightener on. Whatever, I applied, I got the interview, and I think this happened in late January or late February. I can't remember, maybe late February. Shoot, it might have been March. It all just blends together at this point. But I got the first interview, they liked me, and they said, okay, this is gonna take a while. I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, the background check. This isn't a standard background check. And it's gonna take a few months for us to complete. So she's like, I'm gonna email you the packet that you need to complete so we can submit this background check. Okay. You know, I'm thinking like, you know, they want some references, some job history, you know, the regular. No. I wish I could convey to you guys like how much information. I want to say the packet was like 20 some pages. They wanted to know all my family, and not just like I had to give addresses, emails, phone numbers. I needed 10 references that they could not be repeated twice. So let's say like, and they had to be within these subsections. Like, it was crazy. Like, okay, friends, co-workers, clergy members, somebody who works with the state. Like, you could only pick so many with each category. I think it was 2 within each category. It was really hard for me to bring together 10 of these references. Luckily, I did it. I had to contact all these people from like my past. It was crazy, but I did it. I filled that out. Oh, and they also wanted any like bank records and what was it? Actually, it's probably right up here on my computer. Oh, my credit report. So any credit cards I ever had. Obviously any tickets or stuff like that, of course. Which I've only had like a couple speeding tickets years ago. I know I'm forgetting so much, but it was a really invasive criteria that they wanted. Whatever, I fill it out, I submit it. And this was about a month ago. So I'm at the eclipse. I'm out of town. I'm at the eclipse showing, or, you know, I went out of state to see the eclipse. And on the way home, mind you, I'm in the middle of nowhere driving back home, and I get a call, and this is Detective something something, or Trooper something something. When can we schedule an in-home visit? Now, I'm not applying to be a cop. I know that cops normally have to, like, when you get hired, you like, someone comes to your house, they talk to your family members, and they say, oh, you know, they want to basically make sure everything's kosher, and like, oh, you know, they could die in the line of fire, blah blah blah. I'm not applying to a job like that. So I was just like, are you gonna come in an unmarked car? I said, I don't want my neighbor seeing, like, I don't know, a detective at my house. That's like sketchy as hell. Like, I don't know. So he's like, listen, let me call you back. And he calls me back, and he's like, okay, we can meet at the local police department, but bring your husband because I need to talk to him too. I'm like, oh my god, okay. Whatever. So he's the one who so an investigator gets given that packet, that background check that I like filled out. He's like, okay, before I even go into your history, he goes, I'm gonna be completely upfront with you. I need to we do an in-person interview before I even start digging in your history. And he goes, tell me now, do you have enemies? Why did you leave such and such jobs? He goes, I'm basically going to contact all your references, and I'm going to try to find other references, maybe through those references that you've given. I'm going to try to find dirt on you, basically. I want to make sure you're telling me the truth, that you are who you say you are, blah, blah, blah. So we sat there, we went over my whole packet, and, you know, I didn't really have anything to give him. Like, I was upfront and honest about everything, so I wasn't really worried. But, so then I talked to him, then my husband went in and talked to him. We couldn't be in the same room talking to him at the same time. It was, like, separate. And, yeah, he just basically talked to him like a reference. Like, oh, do you think, like, should be good for the job, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then he was like, okay, I get, like, I don't remember what it was, 10 or 2 weeks, and I'm going to investigate you, you know, social medias, exes, like, everything. Like, everything's on the plate for this. Cool, whatever. It was a little sketchy, though. I'll tell you, it makes you feel, like, uncomfortable. But, then the person who conducted my interview contacts me, and she's like, okay, you passed the background check. Now you need to go get your fingerprints taken. You'd think I was, like, working as, like... You'd think I'd be working for, like, the president, doing, like, all the stuff that they were asking. So I go and get my, like, a digital fingerprint, you know, not the ink kind, right? And, I submitted that. That wasn't too long ago. That was, like... It was maybe 2 weeks ago or a little bit less. I did that. And I guess, like, that gets run through, like, some kind of database system just to make sure, like, my fingerprints don't pop up anywhere or are linked to any crimes. Of course they weren't. And then I get this week, was it Monday? I get my final offer letter. So the whole time this background check was being conducted, I got a contingency letter basically saying, if you pass said background check, you know, you'll get the job. So I kind of knew, like, I wasn't really worried about them finding anything, but, you know, then I got my final offer letter and I signed it yesterday because a few things needed to be tweaked, like the start date and stuff like that. So, lo and behold, I got the job. Now, it's kind of, like, confusing if people ask me, like, what you do. So, I work with the state police. I believe I'm part of the criminal records unit. So, I have, like, there's so much here, like, the responsibilities. But I'll just read you some. I mean, it's so long, it's pages long, but, like, conducts structured on-site audits, and receives FBI fingerprints from database records, receives and reviews court dockets, indictments, arrest reports, criminal history, driver license. I get to conduct research and basically say, like, if someone submits, I think, how I'm interpreting some of this is, like, if someone submits... Maybe if someone, like, almost like the job that I applied for, you know, that background check, I think I'm basically doing the checks and balances, because I have to make sure, like, look into people's aliases. I get to conduct some research, which I think is really interesting. But the training, there's so much here, but the training is, she said it's in depth. There's a lot of training for this job, so I'm just assuming, like, the first few months are just going to be me training for the job. And it isn't around the corner. I have to drive almost an hour to work every day. But I don't know, I'm really excited to begin. I start at the end of the month, and I still want to make content, of course. I love my TikTok, YouTube, but I'm almost thinking of transitioning more towards the long form, like more YouTube-like videos. I really enjoy those. Just because it's like easy to sit there and just talk for a long time, kind of like I'm doing here. Like a lot of these videos that I upload here just go straight to YouTube. Instagram, it's like a whole other, I hate, like, you can only record for like a minute and a half. It's so annoying. But yeah, so that's my life update. I don't know like how much I'll like actually be able to, like, I probably just won't be able to talk specifics, but like I guess, like, you know, I'll update you guys more on just like my day to day, and I'm gonna have to figure out some type of new recording, like making videos, maybe like when I get ready before I leave from work on the weekends. I also get to make my own hours, like to a certain extent. So like the facility isn't open super long, and I have to take into account that, you know, it's gonna take me a while to get to work. So I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm thinking of like starting there at 9 o'clock. Then I can get up at 5 or 6 in the morning, give myself a couple hours to spare, and, you know, it's gonna be a big transition. I've worked for myself for so long, but it also just like, okay, it's great working from home, right? But there's also like, it's kind of lonely. It gets boring wearing, like, sometimes I would just get dressed up to get dressed up, but like you're always just like, you could always just be comfortable. Like, it's just, I don't know, sometimes it's just like I just want to get dressed up and go to work. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah. So I'm just gonna keep making videos. I'm gonna find a new normal. You know, it's gonna be transition, and I hope you guys will stick around. Let's see how these curls turned out. I forgot to put my hair up in a bun last night, so like all my curls pretty much went flat. I'm gonna let them set a little bit and then I'll brush them out. But yeah, until the next video.